So, you probably know the story of Palm Sunday, right? You've got the crowds, the palm branches, everyone shouting Hosanna. It's a classic. But what if I told you there's this one tiny detail hiding in plain sight that just changes everything? It turns what looks like a simple parade into, well, what believers see as the fulfillment of a prophecy that's, get this, 500 years old. Okay, let's get right into it.
All right, so first, let's just paint the picture. You're in Jerusalem. The city is absolutely buzzing. There's this incredible energy in the air because a man, who people are calling a king, is about to make his grand entrance. You can just feel the anticipation, right? Everyone is waiting. Okay, so just for a second, I want you to picture that in your mind. A victorious king finally arriving in his capital city to take the throne. What does that look like to you? Think about the whole spectacle, the ceremony, the power, all of it.
Yeah, I'm guessing you're picturing something pretty epic. A conquering hero, right? Maybe on a massive, powerful war horse, all decked out. A real symbol of military strength and total authority. I mean, that's just the image of power we all kind of have in our heads.
But here's where the story takes a hard left turn. The expectation, the thing everyone was probably waiting for, was this king of war. The reality of Palm Sunday, though, it was the exact opposite. You have this humble figure, Jesus, and he shows up not on some magnificent war horse, but on a donkey, a young donkey.
And that animal, the donkey, that's not just some random detail. It's the whole key to understanding this story. It was a totally deliberate symbolic move. So let's really dig into this puzzle, shall we?
I mean, it really is the central question, isn't it? Why a donkey? For a royal entrance of all things, why pick such a humble animal? It almost feels like an anticlimax. But trust me, there is a very, very good reason.
Okay, so check this out. It all comes down to symbolism. A war horse? That screams war, power, conquest. That's what you ride when you're headed into a fight. But a donkey, especially in that ancient culture, was literally an animal of peace. A king would ride a donkey to signal, hey, I'm coming in peace. He wasn't showing up as a conqueror. He was presenting himself as a king of peace.
But wait, it gets even deeper than that. Because the real reason for the donkey, well, you won't find it just by looking at the events of Palm Sunday. To get the answer, we have to look at a sacred text written hundreds of years before this ever happened.
Yeah, we've got to go way back, like 500 years before Palm Sunday. We're diving into the writings of an old prophet named Zechariah. And what's wild is, he laid out a super specific blueprint for exactly how this Messiah king was supposed to arrive.
And here it is. Just listen to this. Written 5 centuries earlier, a prophecy that predicts not just that a king is coming, but it describes his character. Righteous, victorious, but also lowly, and it even names the exact type of animal he'd be riding. It's incredibly specific. Okay, so let's just break that down really quick. The prophecy basically gives us a checklist of 4 things, right? Number 1, a king will show up in Jerusalem. 2, he's going to be righteous and victorious. 3, he's going to be humble or lowly. And 4, the kicker, he will be riding on a donkey. That is a stunningly detailed prediction. All right, so now let's take that ancient blueprint, that checklist, and lay it right over what happened on Palm Sunday. Because this is where everything just clicks.
When you put these 2 things next to each other, it's pretty mind-blowing. The prophecy says your king comes to you, and boom, Jesus enters Jerusalem with crowds hailing him as a king. The prophecy says he'll be lowly and riding on a donkey. And what does he do? He deliberately chooses the animal of peace and humility. It's a perfect match.
So what's the big deal? Well, for believers, this alignment is everything. This isn't just some lucky guess or a weird historical coincidence. No, for them, it's proof that something much, much bigger is going on here.
There's actually a name for this concept: prophetic fulfillment. It's pretty straightforward. It's the belief that God laid out a plan in the scriptures, sometimes hundreds of years in advance, and that Jesus' life was the step-by-step playing out of that exact plan.
So you see, for Christians, that donkey isn't just some cute, quaint detail in the story. It's a massive statement. It's seen as hard evidence that Jesus' arrival wasn't random, it wasn't improvised, it was part of a perfect, incredibly detailed, divine plan that had been set in motion centuries before.
And really, that's what it all comes down to. That's the big question this whole story leaves you with. When you look at a prediction this specific, written 500 years before it happens, what do you see? Is it just an incredible, jaw-dropping coincidence, or is it the execution of a deliberate, divine design?
It's a question people have been wrestling with for thousands of years. Thanks so much for diving into this with me.